student, welcome to next lecture for field theory. Today we will discuss finite fields. In previous lectures we have studied splitting field. Splitting field of a polynomial fx over the given field f is the extension of field f that contains all the roots of the polynomial fx. In other way, we say that a smallest extension of a given field f in which the polynomial fx splits into linear factors is called splitting field of the given polynomial. Today we will discuss splitting field of a polynomial that is a finite field. Theorem is any finite field with p raised to n element. We know that finite fields, the field that contains finite number of elements are called as finite fields. The characteristic of finite field is prime number p. So we consider finite field with p raised to n elements. Also in last lecture we have discussed any finite field contains p raised to n elements where p is a prime number. Any finite field with p raised to n elements is the splitting field of x raised to p raised to n minus x. This is a polynomial of degree p raised to n over fp. Consequently, any two finite fields with p raised to n elements, any two finite fields with same number of elements which are finite, that is p raised to n elements, are isomorphic. We prove first the splitting field of this polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x is the finite field with p raised to n elements. Consider that polynomial. We know that in finite field with p raised to n elements, all elements which are non-zero are invertible. By definition of field, every non-zero element is invertible. Here the field is finite field that contains p raised to n elements. Hence, all the elements which are non-zero of this field that are p raised to n minus 1 in number, all are invertible. Means set of all p raised to n minus 1 elements of the field forms a group under multiplication. Which are non-zero are invertible, hence the set of all non-zero elements of F forms a multiplicative group of order p raised to n minus 1. Hence, if alpha is not equal to 0, means alpha is invertible and alpha belongs to F, then order of alpha is p raised to n minus 1. That is, alpha raised to p raised to n minus 1 equal to 1. We can write this equation as alpha raised to p raised to n into alpha raised to equal to 1. Means alpha raised to p raised to n is equal to alpha. Alpha raised to p raised to n is equal to alpha. This implies, what this equation implies? Alpha satisfies the equation x raised to p raised to n is equal to x. That is, alpha satisfying the equation x raised to p raised to n minus x is equal to 0 over fp. Another case, if alpha is equal to 0, then alpha also satisfies this equation. The same equation, alpha raised to p raised to n is equal to alpha. Okay, hence all the elements of the field f satisfying the equation x raised to p raised to n minus x is equal to 0. Hence, the p raised to n minus 1 and they are p raised to n in number. Hence, all the p raised to n elements of f satisfying this equation x raised to p raised to n minus x is equal to 0. But what is the degree of this equation? This is a polynomial of degree p raised to n. Hence, it has at most p raised to n roots. By fundamental theorem of algebra, it has at most p raised to n roots. Hence, the finite field f with p raised to n elements is the field that contains all the roots of x raised to p raised to n minus x. See, the roots of this polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x is equal to 0 are p raised to n in number. Also, we have finite field f with p raised to n elements, and we have seen if that elements either 0 or non-zero, they satisfy this equation. X raised to p raised to n minus x is equal to 0. Hence, the finite field here with p raised to n elements is the field that contains roots of the polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x. The finite field with p raised to n elements contains all the roots of the polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x, which are p raised to any number. Hence, that field is nothing but the splitting field of polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x. We prove first statement, a finite field with p raised to n elements is the splitting field of polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x over fp. In latter part, we prove any two finite fields with p raised to n elements are isomorphic. Suppose there are two fields that contains p raised to n elements. That two fields are k and e. Let if k and e be finite fields that contains p raised to n elements, means both the fields k and e has characteristic p. Because they contain p raised to n elements, they have characteristic p. Then both the fields has characteristic p, hence they contain prime subfields in the form of kp and ep. Suppose k has prime subfield kp and e has prime subfield ep. We know the result. Any finite field, if there is any finite field, then it contains a prime field that is isomorphic to Zp. If that field is not finite field, then that field contains a prime field that is isomorphic to field of rational numbers. If it is infinite or its prime field is isomorphic to Zp, if the given field is finite field. Here we have two finite fields k and e, hence they have prime subfields isomorphic to Zp. Suppose they are kp and ep. Kp is the prime subfield of k and ep is the prime subfield of e. Both are isomorphic to Zp, hence kp is isomorphic to ep. See, this kp and ep are prime subfields of k and e having characteristic p, hence kp is isomorphic to Zp and ep, which is prime subfield of e, is isomorphic to Zp. By considering these two isomorphisms, we will get kp isomorphic to ep. Hence, we have the prime fields kp and ep which are isomorphic, and hence their extension fields that contains same number of elements. K and E both contains p raised to n elements that have prime subfields which are isomorphic. Hence, we can extend this isomorphism to these two fields k and E. Means we get k as isomorphic field with E. Hence, the fields k and E are isomorphic. Therefore, k is isomorphic to E because their prime subfields are isomorphic. Hence, we can extend this isomorphism to the fields k to E. Okay. Hence, we proved any two finite fields with p raised to n elements are isomorphic, and in first part, any field which is finite having p raised to n elements is the splitting field of the polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x over fp. Now we see one more result. Theorem is for each prime p and each positive integer n greater than or equal to 1, the roots of x raised to p raised to n minus x belongs to Zpx in its splitting field over Zp are all distinct and forms a field F with p raised to n elements. Also, F is the splitting field of x raised to p raised to n minus x over zp. Now we prove this theorem. What is given in this theorem? For each prime p and each positive integer n greater equal 1, the roots of x raised to p raised to n minus x belongs to zpx in its splitting field over zp are all distinct. We prove all the roots of this polynomial are distinct, and next we prove the roots of this polynomial forms a field with p raised to n elements. Also that field is the splitting field of the polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x over zp. Suppose this polynomial is f of x raised to p raised to n minus x. We get derivative of f is f dash x, which is equal to p raised to n into x raised to p raised to n minus 1 is the derivative of x raised to p raised to n minus derivative of x is 1. In zp, we are finding the derivative of this polynomial fx in zp. Hence, in zp, p raised to n is congruent to 0 modulo p. That is, this is congruent to 0. P is congruent to 0, hence p raised to n congruent to 0 modulo p minus 1. That is equal to minus 1 in zp. Therefore, f dash x equal to minus 1. This is not equal to 0 for all x belongs to zpx. Right? Derivative of f is minus 1 over the field zp, which is non-zero for all x belongs to zpx. Hence, fx does not have multiple root. We know the theorem, fx belongs to the field capital Fx has multiple root if and only if its derivative takes 0 value at that root. But here f dash x is not equal to 0 for all x belongs to zpx. Hence, this polynomial fx does not have multiple roots. Therefore, fx belongs to zpx has no multiple root. That is, all the roots of fx, that is, all the roots of fx are distinct roots. Suppose alpha and beta are the two roots of polynomial fx. Alpha and beta are roots of the polynomial fx. Then consider alpha plus beta raised to p raised to n. This is equal to what? Alpha raised to p raised to n plus p raised to n into alpha raised to p raised to n minus 1 into beta plus p raised to n into p raised to n minus 1 upon 2 factorial into alpha raised to p raised to n minus 2 beta square plus up to beta raised to p raised to n. If we take this equation in Zp, means if we find the value of this equation, modulo P, then what we get? The terms that contains P and its powers are all congruent to 0 modulo P. The terms that contains P and the power of P are congruent to 0 modulo P. Hence, this equal to alpha raised to P raised to n. This term also, its next term contains power of P. Only the first and last term does not contain power of P. Hence, they are non-zero. Plus beta raised to P raised to n. All the middle terms congruent to 0 modulo P. Hence, alpha plus beta raised to P raised to n equal to alpha raised to P raised to n plus beta raised to P raised to n in ZP. Also, alpha beta inverse raised to P raised to n is equal to alpha raised to P raised to n into beta inverse raised to P raised to n. This is equal to alpha raised to P raised to n into, this can be written as beta raised to P raised to n raised to minus 1, which is equal to alpha raised to 1 into beta raised to minus 1. Also, see these values, alpha raised to P raised to n, as alpha and beta are roots of the polynomial fx, they are satisfying this condition, alpha raised to P raised to n minus alpha equal to 0, because alpha is root of the polynomial fx. Also, beta is root of this polynomial fx, which is x raised to P raised to n minus x. Hence, alpha and beta satisfying that equation. Beta raised to P raised to n minus beta is equal to 0. This implies alpha raised to P raised to n is equal to alpha and beta raised to P raised to n is equal to beta. Therefore, this addition is alpha plus beta. Also, alpha raised to P raised to n is equal to alpha. Hence, we write this term as alpha into beta raised to P raised to n is beta and its power is minus 1. Therefore, what we proved, this implies alpha plus beta is root of the equation x raised to P raised to n minus 6 equal to 0, because alpha plus beta satisfying the condition alpha plus beta raised to P raised to n equal to alpha plus beta. Hence, alpha plus beta is root of this equation. Also, alpha beta raised to alpha beta inverse also root of this equation. Alpha beta inverse is root of the same polynomial x raised to P raised to n minus x is equal to 0. Hence, if we consider roots of the polynomial fx that are alpha and beta, then alpha plus beta and alpha beta inverse are also root of this same polynomial fx over Zp. Hence, all the roots of the polynomial fx forms a subfield of a field with P raised to n elements. Hence, the roots of this polynomial fx forms a subfield roots of fx belongs to Zpx forms a subfield of field with P raised to n elements. Why P raised to n elements? Because this polynomial has at most P raised to n roots, and initially we discussed they are distinct roots. Hence, roots of the polynomial fx forms a subfield of the field with P raised to n elements. But by previous theorem, a field with P raised to n elements is splitting field of polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x over zp. Hence, this subfield, but we know that splitting fields are unique up to isomorphism. Hence, this subfield that contains all the roots of the polynomial fx is coincides with the field with p raised to n elements. Hence, we get this result. Any field with p raised to n elements is the splitting field of x raised to p raised to n minus x. Hence, any field with p raised to n elements forms a splitting field of the polynomial x raised to p raised to n minus x over zp. Thank you all of you.